Love this.
Hooray. Air meet is fun. Connecting. Okay, so we are live. Hooray for that. And everybody who is watching us live from Air Meet, we're here with Rachel. And I'm going to try it one more time, Rachel. Spiewak.
Yes, perfect.
That makes me so happy that I can say your name right. Well, everyone, Rachel is a community manager. She is a certified community manager via Meta.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yep.
Hooray! All the things I can say today.
And it's Friday, so hey.
Yes. So, everyone, I want to introduce you to Rachel, and Rachel's going to tell us all the spiffy things we can do with Facebook communities, LinkedIn communities, just communities in general, and how she does it with short form content. That's my favorite part. So, yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know. I don't know if it was obvious, but all the times I've been watching you do it, I didn't catch on until I heard you tell me. But I like that. I like that it works. So that's why she's here. That's why we're having this master class with her today. Rachel, introduce yourself, and I'm going to let you have the stage.
Aw, well, thank you, Erica. And if you want to stick around, like we can make this a conversation because, like you pointed out, it really only made sense what I was saying when I told you directly in reference what you were doing. And what I find when I teach master classes for different communities that I'm not already a part of, it's the community leader who knows best what your people want to know about. So, like, don't leave. Because I could talk about Facebook groups and community in a million zillion different ways. So I definitely want to talk about what you guys care about the most. And I have some ideas about that. I'd really love to talk about community and summits in particular, if you guys want to hear my thoughts on that, because I've been a summit speaker a whole bunch of times. So there's that. So a little bit of introduction. My name is Rachel Spiewak, and I am a brand community consultant. So standing at this intersection of community and business. And a lot of that work happens in Facebook groups, but really these strategies apply everywhere. It's platform agnostic in many ways. And that's because my experience really comes from real life. I've been doing community organizing work for like 20 years or something crazy like that. The degree in cultural anthropology. I have a master's degree in social work from a program that was about community partnerships. I founded and directed a nonprofit, Pay What You Want bicycle repair shop in Atlanta, Georgia. So I've been doing the on the ground community building thing for a long time. Plus, I've DJ'd for a living. These are records. And a lot of DJing and party planning and party promoting is the same. It's the same skill set. Basically, it's all transferable skills from summit to party to challenge event to your evergreen community. It's all really about shared interest, shared identity, and bringing people together for a common purpose, right? That's all we're doing, really, if you boil it down. So that's my introduction. Where should we start? Should we start with like short form video? Should we start with Facebook groups? Should we start with community and summits? You tell me. Choose your own adventure.
I like that. Choose your own adventure with a master class. That could be an event in itself. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking, you had mentioned something to me about communities and events, and I was thinking, how can you have an event without a community and vice versa? Can
Mm-hmm.
you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So, in my opinion, events perform the best when they're built on a community that already exists in some form or fashion. And if it doesn't, it's really about using that event to plant the seed for that community. So it can kind of work both ways. If you've got the community already, you hang out with your people and you find out what kind of party they would go to. Kind of think about it that way. Every community has a flavor, it has a vibe. And if you kind of compare it to, say, do we like trivia night? Do we like board game night? Do we like house party? Do we like warehouse rave? Everything kind of has every kind of gathering has its own feel, its own vibe. Is it like a red tent? And like a summit's like, a real life conference, a real life trade show. Is that what we're interested in? And you can literally ask your community what they want. Kind of if it's all the same to you, right? Like this could take a couple of different shapes. I want it to be as successful as possible. Let me talk to my community about what they are most interested in. And so that's where I came up with the idea for signature community events. Because what I see a lot of is 5-day challenges, right? Like raise your hand if you've seen like way too many 5-day challenges. And like I've been a part of them, I've hosted them, I've ambassadored them, and they were especially great during the pandemic when people had plenty of time on their hands. I asked my community in my Facebook group recently, I just posted a post, and I said, your opinions about 5-day challenges, honest opinions only. And people told me it's too long at this point. 3 days is my max. And so that's how I knew, you know what, when I do my next launch event, I'm going to make it 3 days because that's what my community is telling me. And it doesn't have to be a 5-day challenge the same way everybody else is a 5-day challenge. So that's how we came up with Grow Your Facebook Group with Reels Fest, which is coming up, and its doors open in a week. But it's really a 3-day thing from September 12th to 14th. And it's all about growing your Facebook group with Reels all together. We're doing it together. And you guys are invited. You can register at rockyourtribe.com/reels. It's free. It's going to be fun. Erica's definitely going to be there.
Yep.
And if you're interested, I mean, if you don't want to grow your Facebook group with Reels, but you'd like to see what a signature event looks like, if you want to come in sort of as a researcher, okay, what can I do? Think about what can I do in my community that's on brand, that makes sense to my community members for a length of time that's comfortable for them, and make it fun and different and stand out from the crowd. So that's my pitch. Yeah, I was DJ. I guess I technically still am, but my husband is too, and that's how we met. So it's like a house of music. So that's building your event from your community. If we kind of reverse engineer it, right? Some of us might be interested in just hosting a summit. That's the thing that calls to us. I want to host a summit. I want to bring great minds together into one place for a short period of time and just like vibe out and share the knowledge and invite people and sell stuff. Cool. What I found as a summit participant is that the biggest value to me as the participant is the community of speakers. And what I do when I'm really invested in being a summit speaker is I spend a lot of time going to the other speakers' talks and participating and asking questions and following up with them if there's a companion Facebook group. And I make sure I write an intro post for myself, and I ask follow-up questions on the other speakers' intro posts. I show them I'm interested in knowing you better. I want to ask you a question about your thing and maybe relate it to my thing because maybe there's some synergy there. Because we know as summit people and community people, it's all about the relationships, right? It's really about the long game of earning people's trust and building your authority. Like, yeah, okay, we might sell some stuff to people we just meet. They come to the summit, they might buy my thing, but like in actuality, the people that buy your best offers, your big ticket things, and the people who are going to be the best clients to you are the people who've been following you for like a year, 2 years, the people who are taking their time to be ready for you, right? And they come around and 2 years later, they're like, I've been following you this whole time and I've been getting my stuff together and now I want to work with you and I have the money to do it. Let's go, right? That's where it's at. So I'm less worried about the short term, like, oh, I might sell a couple of things at this summit. I might sell some tickets. I'm really more interested in like, who am I going to get to know here? And what kind of magic can we create together? So that brings me to the temporary community of the summit. And I try to be as active as possible. And it's crazy because like, a lot of us are still working. We have client work. You can't always clear out your schedule because you have a summit. Sometimes you can,
That's
sometimes you
true.
can't. right? It's like sometimes it's like I'm open, I'm like, yes, I can really focus on just this week. And sometimes it's just like, oh crap, my schedule filled up and it just is what it is. So what I really like to see, and this is sort of my call to action for you summiteers, is to keep that community going. Don't let it just be a flash in the pan pop-up thing. Really keep it going. So either keep that community, the pop-up community, and keep your participants engaged until the next one so you can draw upon them for the next one, right? And they can help onboard and indoctrinate any new speakers you might have the next time. So it's a little bit less work for you, and let it become a culture of its own. So it's not just you and your thing, but really this community culture, and your original speakers can be those, founding, inner circle of culture makers, right?
Okay, let me throw some things in there.
Yeah.
If you show interest in your group members, they will interact with you. If you so happen to have a pop-up group, if you are still active in there, they will be active with you.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I had one more. An event can come from your community. Your community can come from your event.
Right. It works
Okay.
either way, right? So let's say you keep your pop-up group and that just becomes the official speakers lounge for your summit. And it's just there all the time. You could continuously attract interest for your next summit. Then this can help you sell, get sponsors, right? Get that financial support. You can show them in a brand partnerships kind of way. Listen, I have this pool of speakers. These are high value, red hot leads for you if you support my thing. Say it's like a streaming platform or microphone brand or whatever, like whatever kind of support product or service that people who speak at summits would be interested in. So you can start working the brand partnership angle for that, like using your community of summit speakers as leverage for that. And then we could kind of go down that rabbit hole a little bit. So that's one reason to do it. And you can also, the easy thing about it is you just keep the conversation going. You don't have to explain much. You don't have to write lots and lots of informational content. You just ask questions that keep them engaged, and ask them like, okay, what are you up to this week? Are you speaking at any other summits? Can we help you with that? Do you need to get some registrations for this other summit that you're speaking at? We want to help you with that, and you can support each other on an ongoing basis as summiteers. And that'll help improve everybody's performance for the next time. Because let me tell you, the first time I spoke at an online summit, disaster. I had no idea what I was doing. I was unprepared. I showed up. It was like a Zoom with the organizer, and then she was recording it. She went, off camera, and it was just me, and I bombed so bad, so bad. And she came back on, and she was like, do you want to work on this and come back later and we can try again? So thank God, I was given that grace to try again. So we can think about it as something that helps up level people's presentation skills. And I just saw a comment background. Will she pull? Yes, I can pull a random record out. Let's see. Let's go over here and see what happens. This is Cool G Rap, The Streets. Okay. You never know what it's going to be. Okay, I'm just going to put that there for you. I'll put it there. Okay. Yeah. So where was I? It's so easily diverting me to talking about music. Staying on topic. On topic, you guys. We can talk about music later. Yeah. This collection is crazy. Okay, now you've done it. Let me see what we got here. What is this? This is a random record.
Music brings communities together.
It does. It's a universal language. Let's see. I mean, and that's right. Like, getting people together for a common. No, that is inappropriate.
John is asking, How
Oh,
do you
yeah.
use music to build your community?
This is the Nutty Professor soundtrack. How do I use music to build my community? Well, I mean, music is the heartbeat of community, if you think about it. Music is culture, right? I could get way philosophical about this. um, but I think about stuff like from my DJ experience. So I was DJing for I started in Atlanta. It was like a side hustle while I was running my nonprofit, and I wasn't even like a DJ. Like I threw parties, right? I threw benefit parties. I organized bike races where we got like bike tattoos and things. And it was one of those things where all of a sudden I realized all my friends are DJs. What is this, you know? And then suddenly people were like, you should DJ parties. And I was like, I don't know how, but okay. And it just sort of morphed from there. And then when I moved to New York, it was like the housing crisis and it was like a weird time in my life. And it was one of those like fall back on your side hustle things. So I was like, I'm going to be a DJ for my rent in New York City, the literal birthplace of this art form where my competitors are OGs, like the originators, the inventors of the game. Like literally Cool Herc is still around. Like, okay. So I just did my thing. I used my social media skills that I had from that time from like already, you know, and just went knocking on doors because I am also a seasoned fundraiser. So I am like no stranger to just asking for what I want and asking everybody for what I want and just showing up places like, I'm here. Can I DJ here? Can I get 10% of the bar, 20% of the bar? No, 10%. All right. You know, um, so those, I mean, it's all transferable skills. And the crazy thing about DJing for a living is of all the things I've done, and I have a master's degree, but like DJing for a living taught me some of the most important, useful, transferable skills ever. Cause I had to be my own manager. I had to be my own promoter. I built my website. Like I had to figure out social media for myself. I had to build relationships. I had to get myself all over the city. I had to get equipment, had to figure out and like being a mobile DJ in New York City is not a joke. Like moving that stuff around, oh my god. So I eventually linked with an agency. So there's Scratch Music Group or Scratch DJ Academy. So it's like literally a DJ academy that Jam Master Jay was part of starting. Rest in peace. And so they have an agency that hired me and they would just like send me out mostly to retail locations. Okay, so this is a trip. So it was like weddings and retail DJing. So I would be at H&M in Times Square for like 5 hours at a time. And it's a 4 or 5 story building. So I just pretend it was like a 5-story all ages club. And they called me the turn up girl. I did like Saks and Bloomingdale's and Neiman Marcus and Macy's. And let me tell you, so I would be in Macy's in like the housewares department. They'd put me there for these events for wedding registries. So it'd be like this like wine and dine DJ party for people building their wedding and just their wedding registries, right? So they go around with the scanner gun thing. And so I'd be there like I'm DJing the pots and pans. and like this like poster of Martha Stewart. Like I shit you not. And then but the people that work at Macy's in New York City are all like Studio 54 club kids. So they come up to me and be like, "What disco do you have?" So I learned so much about disco from the people that work at Macy's who used to party at Studio 54. So I swear I'm going to tie this all together. This is how music brings us together. I learned so much about people and music and where I was and the history of the place just by, you know, showing up, putting on a song and being open to people talking to me. I mean, it gets weird when people are like asking for requests and they're disrespectful and blah, blah, blah. And can I plug in my phone and will you watch my code? No. But like being open to just like taught me the anthropology part. I'm like, talk to me about music. Tell me what you like. If you love music, I want to talk to you. And I just learned so much. I learned how to be a DJ in New York City because there's a certain flavor of that. I'm from South Florida, like 80s, 90s South Florida, so that's kind of one thing. a lot of like booty bass and freestyle, right? And then moved to Atlanta for 10 years, so like 99 to 2009 Atlanta there, right? And then I was in New York City being like working DJ. So in each place, it's like you figure out, okay, what is the music that speaks to this place? And you get that from getting to know the people. And that was one of my favorite things. So this is a lot of what I use in my Facebook group, to be honest with you. It's like, how do I get everybody on the dance floor? That's what I'm thinking about when I write my engagement posts. And I think a lot about call and response, right? Like classic music tool, you know? I say, hey, you say, oh, right? So I'm thinking about my engagement posts, like what's going to get people to holler back at me, you know? And then we keep it going in the comments. So these are things I'm thinking about all the time in my Facebook group.
It's
How's that?
nice. It's really nice. So, Harry had asked, how can I build a better community? I have a DJ community. And
Ooh. Go ahead.
that
You were
was
saying
it.
something? Oh,
That was
that's
the
it.
end of
Okay,
the question.
just listening. It's lifestyle. Skateboarding was the same way for me. Yeah. Well, I'd have to kind of know more about it to give specifics. Like, is it a Facebook group or is it like, you know, where does it live? Because even though these strategies kind of apply anywhere, each place kind of has its own flavor, if you will. But if it's a DJ community on Facebook, say, you know, is it for all kinds of DJs or is it for one kind of format or one particular genre or kind of like group of genres like hip hop and related is kind of like one thing, like funk soul, disco, you know, is it vinyl? Is it, you know, is it digital? So I would start thinking about like who exactly, you know, belongs here. Who are they? Who is this for? And let's see, Facebook group, I interview DJs. So, you know, community is about shared interest and identity at the end of the day. And so you can't appeal to everybody. If there was like an everybody community, what would that even be? It's planet Earth, right? So it right. And how well is that working? Is everybody getting along?
I
So
like it here.
yeah, it's cool. It's all right, you know. Um, so I think about, all right, you know, what is I mean, if you've done like, what's it, ideal client avatar, you can do this for your Facebook group. I call it ideal tribe member. This is something I have in my workbook. It's at rockyourtribe.com/workbook. It's on sale right now for Labor Day. I'm a perpetual salesperson.
Hey, if you got
um,
the link, drop it. We
hey,
want to know what
okay,
you
hold
know.
okay, Rock Your Tribe. How if I spell it? Tribe.com. So workbook, and I have a Labor Day sale right now on this handy workbook. And this is really all about pinpointing like who is your group for and what is the super persuasive reason why they should join. Because, you know, what I see a lot is people thinking like, I want to start a community for this very broad group of people for this very broad reason. And it's like, well, that's not what a community is. So I would figure out like, okay, in this community of DJs, who are they really? What do they care about? How do we kind of narrow the scope so that it almost becomes obvious what you're supposed to talk about in the group? So I'll give you an example. I love talking about this group. I'm in this group called Jewish Misfits. And then there's like some little subcategories like alternative, goth, blah, blah, blah. You know, little subcategories of being like an alternative life, you know, alternative person, right? Um, and in that group, because the title and the parameters are so narrow, it's obvious what to post about, right? Jewish stuff and like alternative stuff, and where those things kind of intersect sometimes. So it's almost like it runs itself. So that's something I'd really start to think about. So, okay, let's say it's for um open format DJs in the New York City tri-state area, like open format mobile DJs doing like, you know, weddings and parties and things like that. Um, then it would become kind of obvious what to talk about here. Helping people, like if you have a gig you can't take, you could see if somebody else would take it. And you can build those kinds of relationships so you know who's great at what, who lives where. So like if, you know, somebody hits you up about something in like Teaneck and you live in Queens and you're like, I can't take that. But I know this person like over there in Jersey and They have the gear, and I trust them, so I'm going to make that recommendation. Right. So it becomes sort of obvious. Or like, I'm throwing a party in this place, really love to meet up with you guys. So that would be my suggestion without knowing the specifics about the community, is for you to get specific about who belongs in that community. Why are they there? So it becomes obvious to them what to talk about.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as soon as you start talking about that, I'm thinking there's going to be a directory. There could be possibly a wait list.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe people would possibly pay you to be on your list to be recommended.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could. I mean, there are things you can do to play around with that. You can create a newsletter and sell ad space in it. So there'd be a directory, and there's like different tiers, right? Like for $1 a month, you get your name and your website listed. For, $5 a month, you get like 100 words, and then you can buy like a half page, a quarter page, right? But you could also sell ad space to DJ supply stores and things of that, record stores. So you can start leveraging it for income from outside of your community, from inside your community and outside as well. And so you can start building brand partnerships. So if you get your group to a certain size and you have this additional collateral, like this newsletter that everybody reads and pays for and everything, you might attract a brand partner, say a record store, and say it's a local group, right? So it makes sense for a local record store to come by and be like, we want to do some influencer marketing in your group. We're going to pay you outright, and you're going to create content that subtly promotes us. That's a thing.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that working for events.
Oh, Eric, thank you. Eric bought my workbook. Thank you so much. Please let me know if it helps. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm so here for you guys. And join my Facebook group too. Duh. Let me pop the
Rock Your Tribe.
Facebook.com/group/tribe rockers.
And Harry, I don't know what UGC stands for. Well, I like when you talk about short form content, I like that it's not just about videos or reels. Like, you open my eyes to let me know that it's post.
Mhm.
It's like social posts, blog posts, can be short video, it can be reels. Short form is like you say what your tip is, you say what your idea is, and that's it. You let it go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm of the MTV generation, right? Like, me and MTV were born the same year. And that's when we started talking about short attention time, what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? But attention span issues. Henry said user generated content. Yeah, we could have a whole conversation about user generated content. I mean, ideally, that's what you want in your Facebook group, is for your members to be coming up with great content and talking to each other, because that's what takes us from audience to community. And this is one for the DJs and performers out there. When you are on stage, there's this sort of like, hold on. If you are like a singer or a band or something, there's kind of this like unidirectional communication, but especially with DJs, because our thing is making people dance with each other, right? We are facilitating this, exactly, these connections between the people in our audience, and that's what takes them from audience to community, is them building those networks and communication channels with each other. So it's not just us on a stage performing at people, but our performance is creating that platform for people to build those relationships, because then they're going to take their experience and go out into the world and tell people about it and be like, you got to come with me next time to this DJ party. It's crazy. You're going to have so much fun. The people are amazing, right? I mean, people want to go where their people are. It's all about like belonging and feeling good and stuff. So anyway, user generated content. So raves are a perfect, yes, raves are a community event, and also it's counterculture too. So okay, so I'm totally going to come back to what you were asking about, Erica, about short form content, but we're talking about music right now, and I'm very excited.
For me, it all goes together.
cool. It's all the same thing. And I'm like so excited that your crowd right now is into this because like I very rarely kind of like go down this rabbit hole with people. So it's like very exciting.
This group
um,
is all about rabbit holes.
oh my God, you're rabbit holing so hard right now. Um, that's a brand new sentence. So people get like obsessed with the rules in Facebook groups. It's like very weird, I think, because nobody gives a shit about your rules, honestly, whatever. But the thing is about like rules and culture. Community is about culture, and culture comes about as a reaction to the rules, right? And we in the world of music, raves, hip hop, disco, we know this, right? Jazz, all of our favorite, all of the best music and the best parties and the best genres come from a reaction to the oppressive rules from society, right? So if we take it that way, where does culture come from and how do we build it? you know? And we sort of had to think about it like in in terms of like when it comes to your rules in your Facebook group, is think of it as general guidelines and a fallback for you to protect yourself as the admin of the group. Because what you can do on Facebook is decline posts and decline comments with feedback. So you could decline it and then attach a rule to it, like no promotion, for example. And I would look at it as just protection for you to make it easier to moderate your group effectively to keep the party going, right? But the obsession with rules, I don't get it. Maybe because I'm like totally anti-authoritarian. Okay, short form content, MTV generation, short attention spans. Have you ever written like a very long informative post, like value post for your Facebook group or anywhere online, and it's like full of gems and you're going to change people's lives and people should read it and it's like such a gift you're giving to people, and then nobody cares, and then it sucks. You're like, I just wrote this for you. Then you become like passive aggressive parent, like, you know, I birthed you. Why don't you care? Right? It's like, who asked you? So I find that it's just so much easier to start conversations and then build off of it. It's just like DJing. Like you're starting conversations, right? So I'm gonna try some reggaeton, see what happens. You're not feeling it. Okay, it's cool. It's cool. Drake. Yeah. Okay. You guys like this. Fine. Okay. Let's keep it going. I'll play some Rihanna next. So if you start the conversation with a question and like just keep it super chill, like, what's your Facebook group? Show me your Facebook group banner. Why did you start your Facebook group? Just get the conversation started, and you can always come back in the comments and ask people the follow-ups. And that's where you really get to the heart of things. Because if we come from this sort of like pain point marketing perspective, where we might ask a question like, what is your biggest struggle with Facebook groups? Really hate the struggle question. But if we start from this kind of like low vibe kind of place, it's like, ew, first of all, and people don't know what their problem is, honestly. Like if you're deep into your work, right? And people come to you and they're like, I can't get any DJ gigs. And they think the problem is they need to run ads. And you're like, no. The problem is, you need to get your organic presence together, or you need to just show up in places and meet people, or you need to just take guest spots and get your name out there. Right. So if you ask people, like, what are you struggling with? Or what's your biggest problem? Well, you can't stop there. You have to keep going. You have to keep diagnosing before you prescribe. And the mistake that a lot of people make in their community is like, they'll ask, what's your biggest problem with blah? And a person's like, it is this. And then the immediate answer is, well, buy my thing, or like book a discovery call, which we all know is a sales call, and it's like, let's just, chill out. We're still in the opening set, right? It's not midnight yet. We're not dropping the hammer yet. We are playing the warm-up songs. We might even have a mixtape on right now. We might be just chilling at the bar waiting for people to get here. Like, just chill out, So short form content, right. So the ultimate short form content inside your community is just starting conversations. And I do this almost every day with like an engagement post. It's a question. Sometimes it's literally stuff I'm thinking about, because if I'm thinking about it, maybe everybody else is thinking about it. Maybe my community members might have some insights for me. I like to see them as equals to me, partners in my business. They're not needy little babies. I hate that in Facebook groups when people are like, I'm the authority and you're needy little babies and you're here because I need to coddle you. No, like I want to hang out with people who are as excited about community and business as I am, who have, their kind of intelligence to share and they know things that I don't know. I have what I bring to the table and I've hired people out of my Facebook group because they've taken the time to be in my world. So that's how I found my bookkeeper. That's how I found my tech person from inside my own community. So it works in all these different directions. So point being, start conversations because that's where it's at. And you'll see, like, if you hang out in my Facebook group for long enough, you'll see in the comments here and there, people being like, okay, I need to work with you. And I'll be like, okay, I'll DM you. Let's talk on Zoom. And it's so super chill. It's like super chill sales where we're just talking until someone's like, okay, I'm ready to work with you, you know? And then I put stuff up for sales sometimes like, okay, the workbook makes sense to talk about right now. So let me tell you about the workbook, right? Like, it's just, I like things that make sense. And you can interrupt me at any time, Erica, by all means.
Oh, no worries.
Okay, because I could just keep going. But the thing
Yeah.
I love for promoting Facebook groups right now is Reels. And the reason is several reasons. They're short, they're easy, they get recommended beyond your immediate network. There's actually like a toggle switch or like a click box or something where it asks, do you want Facebook to recommend your Reels? So yes, because on Facebook, does it ever feel like you're just talking to the same like 7 people over and over again at a certain point? And it's like, how do I get my Facebook group out there if I'm just talking to the same people? And for me personally, I don't like accepting all of these friend requests just because somebody might maybe be an ideal client. They might maybe join my Facebook group because what winds up happening is they get in your DMs and start pitching you. And it's like, this is pointless. You know what I'm talking about. So I
Yeah.
would rather make a reel from my profile or my business page, but right now I'm just using my profile and sharing like one tip about Facebook groups or sharing one awesome thing about my Facebook group, you know, and routing people back to my group. So if you like this idea and you want to talk to me about it some more, get in my Facebook group. I'll tag it in. I tagged it in the description. Link is in the comments. It's super simple. And if you drop bombs, people will share it. That's the other thing that I love about Reels is that they're very shareable and people will share them. People are lazy about content. So you can work that to your advantage. So if you create something shareable, which is super simple, it's the basics, right? So if we take it back to your Facebook group, think about the newbie questions, right? People ask the same handful of questions over and over again. So like as a DJ, I would get like, where's the bathroom? Can I charge my phone here? Can I leave my bag here? Can I leave my coat here? Will you play my song? I'm leaving soon. Play my song now. I was in the bathroom when you played my song. Can you play it again? It's my friend's birthday. Can you give them a shout out? Like it's the same questions, right? You got a DJ FAQ, you got a community FAQ. Take those FAQs and turn them into your bite-sized nuggets of information in your reels, for example, and refer people back to your Facebook group if they want to find out more. So short form content, it's where it's at. And
I
people will
like
share it.
that.
Us. Can you share from a private group? No, you cannot share from inside a private group out. So what I like to do with Reels is I'll make it from my profile and then I'll post it in my group with a longer explanation. So it's like, hey, inner world people, I'm going to tell you a few more deeper thoughts that I've had about this. It's like only you get to know this because you're here. Let's see.
Okay.
And you,
So Eric has a question. Let's
yes.
see, show on stage. Other than Facebook, what other online resources do you use to keep your community thriving between your events?
Email list. This is crucial. So if you think about your Facebook group or your community or whatever as your high ticket lead magnet, right? And so you trade lead magnets for email addresses. And not that I reject anybody who requests to join for not giving me their email address. I'll get it another way. But I do ask for the email address in my 3 membership questions, and I do run an automation. It's called Group Leads. There's like a bunch of them that do this. I just happen to use one called Group Leads, and I can give you my affiliate link if you want to check it out. But it takes the answers to your 3 questions in your Facebook group, puts them all in a Google sheet, which is awesome because that's basically like lead tracking CRM if you want it to be. And then it takes the email addresses and puts them in your mailing list. And then I have an autoresponder that welcomes you to the group, and then you're on my list. And so email, huge. And email is so important because, I mean, if Facebook disappears overnight, or I lose access to my group, or whatever, something happens and I don't have access anymore to my Facebook group, what then? At least with the backup of a mailing list. That's my doomsday insurance policy, but best case scenario, I actually use email marketing, which is still extremely, extremely effective. And I take a community approach to that too. I email my list like I'm emailing a friend. And I keep it super casual and as useful as possible instead of coming across all like salesy all the time. I mean, there's a time and a place to be like, I'm selling a thing, but like, I want it to feel like this is a community, part of the community communication. Yes. So the email list. I also like to hang out on other community platforms because Facebook kind of has like its own flavor. There's kind of a Facebook bubble and like a meta, but like a meta Facebook culture, right? Like what you can expect on Facebook. What you can expect on Reddit is something different, what you can expect on Discord is kind of something different. So I do like to get out of the Facebook bubble and see what I can pull from other communities. I've run a Discord community. If you're doing the DJ thing, a Twitch channel would be great. Maybe you could have like open turntables. That could be cool if your group is like, not so local. Like if you can't get together for a local, like actual real life open turntables, then you could do it online.
I met a DJ on LinkedIn. He does sets like every other Friday, and he says it's time to stop work. Today's about to be a chill day, so you need to relax. And he just starts playing his music. I'm like,
Yeah.
that is nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And Twitch is monetizable too. So if you made a channel or a station, sorry, I don't know the terminology, but like, for your community, right? And you can start monetizing it and reinvesting that money back into your community and making it a better experience for your members.
I like that, that you're looking out for your group. You're paying attention to what your group wants. That's how you build your community. That's how you're building your culture. When you were mentioning the short form reels and how Facebook is pushing it out for you because that's what they want people to use, I'm thinking it's also a great way to promote your events. It might be a little cheaper way or a less expensive way to advertise, promote your event. Because sometimes promotion is hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Reels for everything. And you don't have to stay focused on just like one message all the time. You could switch it up because you never know when people are going to see stuff, honestly. And sometimes like reels that you made ages ago somehow catch fire months later. It's weird. So my husband's a DJ too, which I mentioned. And so I've been working with him. He mostly does his thing on Instagram. So I've been, since I've been organizing a reels event, I'm like jibber jabbering about reels all the time in the house. I'm like, have you done reels? That you have to do reels next time your gig, you have to make a reel. Like literally, this is what I'm like in the house. So he actually filmed one the other day while I was out with our son in the studio in the garage. DJ Rob Flo, look him up on Instagram. And and he got our 5-year-old Benjamin wants to like learn how to scratch. It's so cute. So he wanted to needle drop, which is crazy because like you could really break a needle that way, and the needles are hard to come by these days because they don't make them anymore. Anyway, so yeah, Rob Flo. So yeah, there's a really cute one of him teaching Benjamin, our 5-year-old, how to needle drop. It's so cute. And that thing racked up like over 10,000 views, like almost immediately. It was crazy. So now he's like, oh, okay, I get it, reels. And I'm like, I told you they're magic.
I like
Me too.
that, but every time I think about DJs, I think about math, and I was like, I can't do it. But I
You
like what
can't
you do.
Yeah, I think, I actually took like piano lessons for most of my childhood, and a lot of it was like music theory based. And so I think that's what really helps me out when I was like, oh, I'm going to be a DJ out of freaking nowhere. It's like, well, I know how music is constructed. And so people would always tell me, like, your blends are really good. And I'm like, it's just, I know how songs are made. It's like, I can't not. I don't know. I can't mix it over here because that doesn't make sense. So let the hook and then the bridge and then the hook and then the thing. Okay.
Are you saying I can be a DJ without math?
Well, let me tell you, in the digital world, you really can. They're like buttons.
I like buttons.
Yeah.
Let me know about automations and I'm in. Eric is asking, how often do you send an email blast to your community?
As needed. What I have found, and maybe it's the artist in me, is that like being super rigid and being like, this is this and this is happening when, and my funnel is this, and like linear connections between things and like doing stuff at a time is how I burn out. My creativity lives in the moment, and that might be the DJ thing. It's like I need to be responding to what the crowd is telling me right now, what is happening now, and then I know exactly what I'm going to do next. And so I email when it makes sense to. So I'm doing this Labor Day sale on this workbook. So I emailed my list today. I was like, hey, we're getting ready for Reels Fest. If you want to get your group into tip top shape, grab the workbook. It's on sale this weekend right now. Otherwise, I'll see you. So it's like promoting two things at once. And it also promoted a post in my group because I asked whenever I'm like promoting my own thing, I try to give people an outlet to promote theirs. And so I asked in my Facebook group today, are you running a Labor Day sale? So I put that up and then I linked that in the email too, being like, oh, by the way, I'd love to hear about your Labor Day sale if you've got one. So it's kind of like three things in one, but it also benefits them. It's not just me asking for something like, hey, buy my thing, but like it's this sort of holistic, like free event thing that's on sale that'll get you ready for it, plus an opportunity for you to promote your thing. But I haven't emailed my list since like last week because I was busy, and I don't want to add to the clutter. I am on so many freaking mailing lists. It's annoying. Like I don't want to be annoying, so it's like finding that sweet spot of like, I'm communicating, I'm being entertaining and interesting and helpful. I'm selling my thing, but I'm not like, up people's butts too much. But like some days I'll email it a couple of times. Like if something is on sale and the sale is ending, I'll send that reminder like, hey, doors are closing in a couple of hours. Just wanted to let you know it's last call.
I
My life
like
is a bomb.
that.
My life is a venue. Last call.
I actually hate email, but I do open some of them, and
Mhm.
I do realize that it's necessary for me to send out email. So I
Yeah.
knew you were coming today, so I just
Mhm.
went ahead and wrote 3 emails to,
Mhm.
say, Rachel's coming,
Uh-huh.
let's get together with her and talk about communities and events." And
Yeah.
I set a time. I messed up and I sent an urgent one, like, the day I was writing it instead of, it was supposed to go out this morning, but I deleted it like you can delete emails. And, I just, rescheduled it, so it will go out, well, it's already gone out. It probably went out about, 8:50. So, any automations that I can set up to help me with emails, I will do it.
Oh
And
yeah.
I like to
Yeah.
keep it, quick and simple, like, and I like pictures, and I hate that, Google shuts people out with, pictures. But
Yeah.
as a graphic designer, I messed up. I did not put the, date and time on the graphic, but I put it all around it. But I know better as a graphic designer that date and time is what makes something a good design. But I'll know better for next time, hopefully. Oh, Tony is asking, where are you posting reels? Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok?
Me personally, right now, I'm doing them on Facebook from my profile. My husband's doing it on Instagram because that's where he hangs out the most. I started on TikTok. The thing about posting reels on from like one platform. So like let's say you start with TikTok. You've got that TikTok watermark. So if you're going to repost it to Facebook or Instagram, you got to get rid of that watermark because your reach is going to be diminished because platforms don't want you promoting other platforms. But
Yeah.
Instagram and Facebook are part of the same thing, Meta, right? So one thing you can do from your business page on Facebook, if it's connected to your Instagram account, you've got a business Instagram account, you can go into the Creator Studio and create your reels. This is the only way to create them on desktop is from the Creator Studio from your business page. And then you can have it post to both Instagram, your business page, and your Facebook group. There, and you're going to love this, Erica. In there actually is a planner. There's a calendar that works on machine learning. So the more you post from it, the more data it will have, and it'll start telling you best time of day to post where, and it'll tell you best kind of content to post what time of day and where. And it includes suggestions like for, International Talk Like a Pirate Day or whatever thing. And it also has a Vimeo integration that offers templates for your video content. So Erica, if you've not checked out the Creator Studio, it's really,
I
really,
set
really
it up,
powerful.
but I haven't done anything with it.
It's crazy. Like,
But now that I know that I
mhm.
just heard from you that it's gonna tell
Mhm.
me the answer, and I
Yeah, it will
love
tell
things
you.
that just tells me the answer.
And have you checked to see if your content is monetizable or eligible for any of the Meta monetization features?
It is, and I have done nothing with it. I'm a big fan of Molly Mahoney, and she screams at everyone that if you have the ability to monetize, you should actually do it. But I didn't really get it until I heard it from you. I know that's
Mhm.
messed up, but sometimes I gotta hear it like a few times to
Yeah,
actually
no,
do it.
it's okay. It's a lot of information, and it's stuff that it's on the back burner for me because I'm so focused on like what I am doing. So I'm figuring out the sort of like entry level, easiest way of explaining it to my community. Like, I know what my community needs. They're not ready for this higher level of technology yet, but your community might be ready for this higher level of technology. So I think I can screen share here, right?
That's right.
Can I? Yeah, if I do present to audience, will that do it? Let's see. Share screen, and I'm going to get a Chrome tab, and I'm just going to grab this one. Okay, so I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go to Meta Creators. Let me see. The first thing we want to look at is Meta for Creators, right? And you guys can see this, right? Let me
I
see.
think
Where
I'm on
are
their
we?
email list.
Yeah.
They have
You wanna
something
be
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, get on the mailing list. You want the updates. So, let me go here okay. So, you're gonna go over to programs, and there's actually 2 places you're gonna go. Bonuses, and this is going to show you so you go down, go down, go down, go down. So, here you can see, like, these are pages that I worked for. Here is my page. If you are eligible for these bonuses, you'll get like a blue check, and then there will be a form here that you fill out, and then you'll get notified when you become eligible. My DJ page was approved. So I can actually earn stars on videos on my DJ page that I don't even use anymore. But see, there's all of these options here. And the thing about the stars, if you guys are familiar with the stars program, and it's kind of like Twitch, where people can like give you like little micro payments while you're performing or while you're streaming, or even if they're watching a replay. Facebook runs monthly challenges where if you reach certain benchmarks, you'll be rewarded with additional money, or they'll match it, or there's like different challenges. So there's like eligibility things you have to look, and you have to abide by the monetization policies. So read up on that because it's kind of a lot. Okay, so that's one thing. And then if you go over to tools and you go to earn money, and then you scroll down, you will see, no, I'm just kidding. If you go to, let's see, that was bonuses, sign up for stars. Sign up for stars, right. Check eligibility. Right, so in this page, there was like another place to look. Anyway, you'll have to poke around because this is where you'll learn about whether you're eligible for these programs, and start to earn money on your content. And so reels are monetizable too. That's the other thing. And you can do it from your profile. Once you reach certain benchmarks, you can have overlay ads on your reels, and start earning there as well. So,
Thomas
show you.
Thomas is asking about the Creator Studio and Facebook. Since you're there, could you show the Creator Studio, please?
I can. So if you are in your Facebook Business Manager, let's see. Let me go here. Right, so you can manage all of these things from here, your stars. The brand collabs thing is kind of wonky right now. So if you're going to do a brand collab, don't work through this just yet. So there's different kinds of ways to monetize and different things, and you can track it all in here. Let's see, creative tools, live dashboard. Let me see. Okay. Hold on a second. Let me go to, see, I don't mess with this that much, but it's so awesome. Let's see.
That's the good thing about automations. You set it up one time, you leave it alone, right, and you forget what you did, and it just works.
Okay. If we go to the business suite, okay, this is really good. So that's somebody I was working for at one point. Okay, so if we go to what I'm mainly using now, is this one. And it's attached to my Instagram account, right? It's my business page and my Instagram. And if we go to planner, this is the planner I was talking about. So this is what I think you would really enjoy, Erica. So this is telling me today, create one of these things. And I have this create button here. And there's an option in here to actually create a reel. You can't do this for your profile. You have to do that from your phone if you're going to create a reel. But you can do it for your page and for Instagram here. And then it's telling me like, okay, here are some things that we can create some content around. And there's even templates for it. And there's this Vimeo integration. So you can create all this content from in here. Guided templates, Instagram, all these things. So lots of stuff. That's a rabbit hole that I am not like the authority on, but I'm just letting you know it exists. Uh-oh. Are you muted? What happened?
Yeah, I turned off my mic and I forgot.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I've set it up, but it's been so long since I've been back to it. I've never really used it, but you've showed me something that makes me want to go back to it. So thank you for that.
There have been a lot of updates in very, very recent history. So go check it out.
Okay. Harry, DJ Lil Ray. Well, I need to put this on.
Yes.
DJ Lil Ray would love to interview you and Rob Flo if you guys would be down for that.
Absolutely.
And he's leaving, so I wanted to put this up.
Hi, Harry. Yeah, definitely just DM me on Facebook. Thank you.
So it's past 11. If anybody want to come on stage and speak with Rachel, let me know so I can put you on stage.
It's time to pass the mic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, come to Best. the link up to Reels Fest.
Yeah. There is a resource tab when we leave the main stage. Well, Rachel's already put it in the comments, but when we leave the main stage, I have put this the link to Reels Fest in the resource tab.
Oh, thank you.
Hooray! So communities, events, music, um, the Facebook studio, lots of rabbit holes. I mean,
So many
this has
holes.
been really good.
Awesome. I'm having fun. I hope I didn't break anybody's brains too much. I do that sometimes. So
Gary says that he loves the info, so hooray for that.
yay, my people.
Now, I've always wondered, how do you build a culture? And you said you gotta show an interest. Oh, Tony is asking, what is Reels Fest? Could you
Yeah.
talk a little more about Reels Fest?
Yeah, and Harry wants to come up before he leaves too. So just want to throw that out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Reels Fest is the long version is Grow Your Facebook Group with Reels Fest. And it's a 3-day event I'm hosting September 12th through 14th. And it's all about using Reels to grow your Facebook group or whatever digital community. You can modify what we're doing if you want to do it for Instagram or your business page or whatever. But the point is, I'm going to walk everybody through 3 days of creating Reels together. It's not about doing trendy stuff. It's not about the dances. It's not about lip syncing, unless you want to. If that's your thing, great. But what we're focusing on is just showing up as you, being the face of your brand and saying the things that need to be shared, that are shareable, that are going to get people from the wide world of Reels into your digital community, Facebook group, whatever it may be. So we're going to do it together. And because it's all going to be contained in a little pop-up group and we're going to share the links to our Reels, we'll all watch each other's Reels and kind of have this nice little engagement pod during the event too. And there's prizes and fun things. And of course, I'm going to try to sell something too, but we can talk about that later. Oh, the reel is broken. Oh no, what did I do? Let me try again. Oh, rockyourtribe.com/reels.
What's up, guys? You hear me?
Yes.
Hey, DJ.
How you doing? It was so nice getting on here and listening to you, Rachel. I get amped about the DJ stuff too.
Awesome.
And the community stuff. So I would
Yeah.
love to interview you guys.
Yeah.
I'm actually starting my show back on the 6th of September, next Tuesday.
Okay. Hooray. Congratulations on getting the
Yes.
show back.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've been traveling, so now I'm kind of set. I was in New York a couple of weeks ago. Coney Island had that free fest with all of the rap groups, New Brand Nubians, Smith and Wesson,
Mm.
and it was so dope.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I am from the Bronx, so
Okay.
Cool Herc
Okay.
and all of them. I know them cats.
You know them. So did you ever go to Sutra on First and First?
No,
Oh,
no, I think I was already gone
gone. Yeah.
then.
There's
From New
something I
York.
want to talk about. I released an album for Dinko D from Leaders of the New School a couple of years back.
Really?
Yeah. Me
See,
and my husband.
oh,
Yeah. Like, those are my friends.
I think y'all hear my phone dinging. I got to go, but I will reach out to you guys. Thank you
Yeah,
so
please.
much for this information. It was good. Thank you, Erica. You know, I attempt to be here every Friday that I can.
I appreciate that.
This
Thank you.
was so dope. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
I hope you got something out of building communities with short
Oh
form
yeah.
content.
Oh yeah. I gotta start my community back. It's called the DJ interview.
Mm.
And I don't do anything in there, and I know that's bad, but
No, it's
I'm gonna
okay.
start
It's
that.
okay. There's a spark of an idea, and you grab the intellectual property. So we'll just build on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you much. I'm gonna purchase your book too as soon as
Oh,
I get off my other call. So
okay. Thank you.
no problem. I'll see you guys soon.
Yeah. Enjoy your
All right.
day.
All right, you too. You guys have a beautiful day.
Thank you.
If anybody else wants to come on stage and speak with myself and Rachel directly, feel free. Happy to have you here. Happy to have a conversation with you. So, was it the DJing or community organizations that made you want to help businesses with communities?
Well, so a long time ago, where all of this really started was in being an activist. And kind of the short-ish version is 9/11 happened when I was in college. And then like the war on terror was like upon us. And I was in Atlanta, Georgia, which has a very rich history of activism, of course. And so when it was time to stand up and say something about, not wanting this war, right? We were all out there in the streets, and I was doing the bicycle thing at the time. So I was one of those like bicycle activist people with like the no blood for oil signs. That was me. And so we're out there stomping around. And because it was Atlanta, one of our chants was move bush, get out the way. Uh, this is very location specific. And so we're out there, and it's like, at a certain point, you're being anti, trying to stop things, and it's like, are we really going to stop this thing? So me and my friends were like, well, what can we do? What's something constructive we can do? What can we make? What can we contribute? So we landed on this bicycle idea. I wrote my honors thesis in college about a community bicycle program. It was like community or bicycle sharing, like way before city bikes, way before the corporate version. It was a thing called Decatur Yellow Bikes. Decatur, where it's greater. And so I wrote my thesis about that. And then we decided, okay, we're going to do a bike thing, but we're going to change it around. Instead of sharing the bikes, we're going to share the tools. And we're going to do this like each one teach one Skillshare thing. And so our shop was in East Atlanta behind like a sushi restaurant. We got this little like storage space for super cheap. And so we're running this bike shop out of there, and just got really, really involved in everything, just everything, all the people. Being a director of this organization, and also being on the ground and in the trenches, and being a social worker and working in the schools and working in the communities and stuff, it's like, okay, what is help? What really helps? What actually helps? Because there are ideas of help and there are ideas of charity that make the person giving feel good, but doesn't necessarily change anything. And actually, sometimes it makes it even harder for the organizations doing the work, because people donate stuff to us, which was great, but like 99% of it was garbage. And that's how it is in like food banks too. It's like nobody wants your garbage food. And the thing that helps people the most, honestly, is money. Giving money is the thing that helps the most, because organizations have relationships with the source of the things they need, so they can buy stuff at wholesale. So when you donate money, the dollar ideally goes farther, unless it's an organization that's spending most of it on like not the thing. But that's like a whole other conversation. So, when it was time for me to like enter this phase of my life, had a baby, needed an online business, needed to get back to doing my own thing because I kind of got away from it for a while, needed to put together, like, this is me like stepping into my own authentic power, I guess you could say, like putting together all the pieces. Okay, what is the masterpiece now based on everything I've done, everything I know? What can I do that actually helps, that helps me and helps you and all of that? And I have this like radical idea of like the entrepreneurship is liberation, if you will. And like going back in my history, my great grandfather in Poland, Jewish, escaped like before things got super hectic, came to New York and sold sheepskin parkas to the dock workers in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, when it was still, industry there and not so many lofts and things. And so, I come from this long history of entrepreneurship, especially in the Jewish community. And you see this too in a lot of like immigrant communities in America, people of or like cultural groups that are like not being hired, people who are like shitted on by like employment. You know what I mean? I'm like trying to find the diplomatic way to say it, but like employment's messed up.
I'm a Southerner. I know what you're talking about.
What do we do? Like, what do groups of people, nations of people, cultures of people do when like, okay, well, you won't hire us, so we're just going to do our own thing over here. Right. And so that's where I see like, the real value of entrepreneurship, is like helping people do better for themselves and their community. Because that's what it's always been to me, I think. So if I put like all of this together, it's like, I want to help people become self-sufficient and help communities become self-sufficient in these interesting ways without being a bummer about it. Because that's the other thing, like when you're like an activist and you're anti and everything is like, you're trying to stop all the things. What if we make it fun? What have I done that's been like the most effective way to get people together and for a good time? It's this, right? So if we serve it up, like if we kind of wrap it up in like, well, we're having fun, it's party, but it's really like, the real like gangster move about it is like, we're gonna get ourselves straightened out financially, and that's what's going to transform communities. So now like the whole philosophical background of the whole thing.
Well, I'm not sure if you noticed when you said that you were a DJ and you pointed to your records and you pulled a record out when John asked you to, everybody got just a little more excited.
Right?
It's like music brings people together.
It really does. It really, really does. Like you don't even have to speak the same verbal language with people. You can communicate with music to anyone.
Elle says that she loves the presentation, but she has to go because she's producing a video today.
Well, thanks for coming by, Elle.
And Tony says, have no idea how to do that. Laugh out loud. Fairly new to using air meat. So I am going to put your comment on stage, and I am going to invite you because this is the only way I know how to invite people, Tony. There's a way that you can grab a microphone, and I don't know how to do that either. So if you want to join us on stage, you can.
Oh.
Yay, Tony's going to join us. Oh, Elle says you're supposed to raise your hand.
Oh.
Thanks, Elle.
Okay, there I am. Can you hear me?
Tony.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Hey, Tony.
Hey, what's going on? By the way, thank you both for putting this on. It's been actually great. I've gotten taken some notes, different things that you said that I kind of like can expound on later. So, so what I'm growing a group right now. It's called Titusville Community News and Events. It's actually a page, and then off of that, there's a group, and the group is called Titusville. I love that, and the idea is that they speak about, or that we talk about things that we love about the small community that we live in, which is.
If you want to drop the link, Tony, go ahead. We want to know what you're talking about.
Oh, you
Titusville, Florida?
What's that?
Or is it Titusville, Florida?
Yeah, Titusville, Florida.
Oh, I'm in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, I saw that you were in Florida. I was trying to look that up to see what part. So yeah, we're right by where they're going to launch the Artemis tomorrow.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I have people that's joining the page because I'm actually advertising that, and it's just Titusville. It's very specific to Titusville. So, and then in that I am encouraging people to join the group. So, and this is fairly new. I really just started this last Monday. So I think I got like 26 people that joined it so far. But far as engagement, I haven't had too many people, and maybe it's just too early, and maybe I just need to put more out there as well, including just doing some lives on there. And that probably would make a huge difference. That's why I almost didn't even ask the question, because I'm like, probably haven't put enough into that group, even though I post a little bit every day. But it's just interesting how some don't say anything,
Yeah.
even though they joined the group. And I've also seen, just with yours, for instance, like joining your group, I saw how, you asked for the email, and then you talked about the automation of that. So that's all good. Those are some of the things I was thinking of doing myself.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Well, the great thing about like location specific groups is there's a built-in audience. And I have a friend named Corey DeWitt who has a page for his area in Canada, and it's grown like wildfire, and he's been able to monetize that page. So content he creates on that page, he's earning money off. So there's that. And so I'm a Meta certified community manager. So I've taken an exam provided by Meta, studied for it, all that. It's all about how Meta wants us to build community on Meta products. And according to Meta, you can build community from your page or Instagram. Like, community doesn't have to happen just in the Facebook group. It can happen on a page. So if you wanted to focus on just the page for now and let the community, spin off later, because it's a lot, and if you just wanted to focus on building community from your page, you can totally do that. And I think local groups are really good for that, actually. So there's,
No, one of the things you said, because one of the things I kind of felt like I was struggling with, okay, I got a page, right? And I always post on the page, but then I got the group, which is made up from people from the page. And I'm like, okay, right, I'm posting kind of like the same thing. But one thing that you said earlier, and I'll just highlight this because I thought this was really great, is your group is kind of like your inner world people. So you can basically just expand on whatever you were talking about on the page. And I thought that was fantastic. So just
yeah. You might want to, if you're going to keep both going, you might want to think of like, okay, what makes the experience in the group different from being on the page? Maybe the page is more about the information people would be interested. Like, this is like not a nice example, but it's just what happened this morning. There was like a bad car accident in front of the high school early this morning. And so, that's the hot talk on Facebook all morning. Like, what happened? Are people okay? Is it messing up the school traffic? So if you make your page like that go-to place for the things that are like happening in the moment or upcoming events, because you also like, maybe this is true in other communities, but in our community, like, there are announcements like everywhere about things that are happening, and it's like hard to keep track of everything. So if there is one kind of singular repository for all the community news, that could be a selling point for the page. And then in the group, maybe there's more organized activities, helping people have real life meetups, for example, or for people, like, you can also have a buy and sell group for a neighborhood. That's another way to come at it. Or a buy nothing group where people just trade stuff. That's how I got my kid a bicycle for free. So there's all different ways to play it, and you can play around with it.
I like that. I learned something new just now. So I'm sorry, Tony, for jumping in, but I just really learned something just now. So your business page, as just for the informational content, I like automating things. So I use missing letter, and it just put in content for me because I asked it to. I picked a category, events, and I was like, please post us on this page. And it does it. But now I'm going to go back to see what industry news I can find and do that.
There's one page I really love that I use as like my example for how to really rock a page. And actually, Tony, you might have heard of this because you're in Florida. Mike's weather page. Are you familiar with Mike's weather page? Okay. So this guy Mike, and he's somewhere. I think he's on the Gulf Coast. He's an amateur meteorologist. And I think his day job, he's like in IT or something like that. And he's like a regular guy. He calls himself like the redneck storm chaser or something like that. And they're like sponsored by a liquor store in the neighborhood. But Mike is such like a regular guy, relatable. He's got like a cute dog, and he gives us the hurricane reports. And so we watch this instead of the news, because like the news gives you like the doom and gloom. We're out here in a raincoat looking crazy. And he's like a regular guy telling regular people what we want to know about the storms and how to like realistically deal with it, you know? And he's not beholden to like, you know, a corporation that's telling him like, you can only use this data and make this point, right? And he pays for access to all the different kinds of weather modeling services. And he shows it on the screen like, look, here's everything. And I'm going to tell you what I think about it. So you have the best information possible to use to stay safe during this thing. So his page is monetized. So people give him stars while he's live, you know, so he's getting paid by his community every time he shows up and does a video. And it's great. You know, when people ask me like, should I have a group? Should I have a page? I like to talk about this example of how a page works really, really well, especially if you have like a fabulous, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the thing that you're bringing to the table is very unique and useful to people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll look that up. Definitely.
Yeah.
So that's a page that he does. He probably has a group that's built off that as well. No?
He's got like a membership, I think he's got like a thing where you can pay for premium access and you get like more information. So it would be like a paid community, like a subscription based thing. I'm pretty sure he's got kind of like an inner circle thing. And that's another way to monetize, right? Like if you like this, but you want more, pay to be in my inner circle. And that's a recurring revenue kind of model.
It's nice.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone else wants to join us on stage, let me know. You can raise your hand, or I can you can respond in the comments, and I can put your comment on stage and promote you to a speaker. So let us know if you want to join us on stage.
I got one more question. As far as engagement, I mean, would you just ask what people want to do in the group to get them? Ideally, would you tag them? I mean, I don't think you can tag everybody, but you can probably do half or so.
I just start conversations, or I try, and I ask questions, and you can say something like, if you've never posted in here before, say hi. You know, how are you feeling today? Drop me a GIF. You know, you can keep it real icebreakery, friendly at first, and then you can start testing things. Like, and even I ask questions that flop, or I'll get one response, but it's great. I'll have a conversation with one person, and it's totally worth it. So you can just ask them, like, you know, how's traffic today? How's the weather today? What are you doing? What do you recommend doing this weekend? You know, just get them talking.
Yeah.
Talk to your friends, you know?
Great idea.
Yeah.
Rachel, may I ask your opinion about at everyone? What do you think about the tagging everyone feature?
I made a reel about this one. Okay, so not every group has this feature. It's still being tested, and the groups that it's been rolled out to are smaller groups, which is a good idea. I think it could be good. I know that it is inspired by the @everyone tag on Discord. And I see it being abused. And the sentiment is, this is how I'm figuring out which groups I need to leave. So use it sparingly, unless you actually want to weed people out of your group who don't actually want to be there.
Okay. It's good to know.
Yeah.
And sometimes you want that.
Yeah, sometimes you do want that.
You don't want everybody in that group.
Yeah.
There's ones that I turned down, and only because I'm really looking for people that's just entitled, right?
Yeah,
it's very
exactly.
specific.
So, one more. What is your personal opinion on finding your most active members and putting them in a group chat?
I don't know why you would do that necessarily. You can like shout out your most active members. Like it refreshes every 28 days, but you can kind of treat it like a monthly thing. Like our 10 top most active members for the month, you can reward them. You know, you could do prizes. You could do like there's a free like online spinning wheel thing, and you can grab everybody's names, dump them in the wheel, and gift the winner a prize of some sort. So you can there's
Wheel of
lots of things
names.
you can do. You can play around with that and reward them, and then that would breadcrumb other members into participating more. And if you're looking for additional moderators for your group, if you're like, I need help with this thing, a great way to figure out who your likely candidates would be, look at your most engaged members, and think about which of them you would extend the offer to.
Okay. I'm a part of this group, and somehow I got put in their group chat, and I just assumed it was because I was one of the most active members.
Oh.
I know I shouldn't assume. I should probably just ask, why do we have a group chat when we have a group?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey guys, thanks for inviting me. I'm going to jump off. I'm in a hotel.
All right. Appreciate you, Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks for everything.
So it's almost 11:30. I know we were supposed to end at 11:30, but if you guys want to find out what the Fluent Spaces is, you can join me over there. We're going to leave the main stage, and you're going to go to the Fluent Spaces, and we can check that out. It's a nice new feature that AirMeet has, and it came out not too long ago. I want to say maybe last month, but we didn't try it, so let's try it now. So I am going to end this session, and we'll meet over in the Fluid Spaces. So see you over there. Oh, wait. Sorry. Rachel, please tell everyone where they can find you just in case they get lost going to Fluent Spaces.
I can put a couple of links in the comments. So my Facebook group, facebook.com/group/tribe rockers. That's my Facebook group. You can just come find me on Facebook, send me a friend request. And that's basically it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to the Fluent Spaces now, and see you over there. Bye.
Bye.